Yes, that is the moon behind me. I am on Fort Lauderdale Beach, A1A around 16th Place. It's a public beach area in Fort Lauderdale, and standing watch. It's late turtle season, November 20th, 2018, at a green sea turtle nest. Green sea turtle nest. Kind of see over here. Chelonia mitis, endangered species. It's actually day 60, which is a late number of days for a nest to still be in the incubation phase, but not so much later in the season. It's fall time, so it's cooler out. I'm actually wearing pants, which is strange for Florida. I have a flannel shirt as well. For earlier it was pretty windy, but at day 45 we start watching these nests. That's what we've been doing all season. So it's typical that they hatch out in the 50s. Day 53 or so is kind of an average, tends to be. So like I said, day 60 is a little strange, but with the cooler weather, the incubation is going to take a little longer for these little guys. Probably about 100 eggs or so were laid by its mother, the green sea turtle mother, who came out of the Atlantic right here in front of me, which you can't see, it's too dark. Green sea turtles are beautiful. They have a kind of a slender neck, gorgeous shell, and they are primarily vegetarian, feeding off of seagrasses and different plant life under the water, and especially around the coral reefs and such. They also groom the reefs a bit. They're known to congregate in the reefs. They groom each other. Other species also groom, like barnacles, off of their backs and such. Otherwise, they're pretty solitary creatures, both males and females. And of course, once a child turtle, as I'll call it, a baby turtle, hits the water, the males never come out their entire lives. They're in the water, they're in the ocean for their entire lives. Females will come out when they are roughly 15 to 20 years old. That's when they sexually mature. They breed with multiple males during breeding season, and they only breed every 2 or 3 years, so they're not doing this every year. They take breaks. So every 2 or 3 years they come towards the shoreline where the breeding grounds are, and they will mate with multiple males. They can actually store multiple sperm donors in their oviducts, and they can fertilize their eggs at their own will, and then they come up and they lay 2 or 3 to 4 nests during their breeding year. So the mothers that are coming up this year are not the mothers that came up last year necessarily, and for the most part. So that's a little bit of information about the green sea turtles. Just like our 3 species that are here on southeastern Florida, the loggerheads, the leatherbacks, and the greens, once the babies hit the water, they need to go about 7 to 10 miles out in the Atlantic to an ecosystem called the Sargassum. And a lot of people wonder about that really gross seaweed that's on our beaches. It's a pain in the butt when we're out here recreating, but it's actually an algae. It's called Sargassum. It grows about 10 to, like 7 to 10 miles out is where it starts. It's a pretty shallow area in the ocean, and the Sargassum is like a forest for these little babies. The ones that make it there, hopefully more than not, but we know what the number game is. The ones that make it there, they hide out in that Sargassum forest for about 10 years, and there's plenty of food for them. There's small shellfish and plankton in there that they feed upon. And when they're about 10 years old, they're roughly the size of a dinner plate. That's when they start venturing out of the Sargassum, and they start following the different streams and start exploring the oceans. That's your little tidbit on sea turtles tonight. This is Mark Foley with Sea Turtle Oversight Protection. Wah, 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 wah.